Welcome back to part 2 of our Borderland Big Lap episode, the Oodnadatta Track. One of the most iconic four-wheel drive tracks and outback road trips this country has to offer. 620 k's of unsealed roads through the rugged and remote landscape of South Australia. In our last episode, we left Coober Pedy and saw an epic sunset at the Painted Desert. We stopped in at the famous Pink Roadhouse in Oodnadatta to fuel up and air down before hitting the track. The start of this track was nothing short of incredible. We camped under the stars at some amazing outback campsites, explored ruins and remnants of the Old Ghan railway, stopped in at William Creek, and ticked off a bucket list experience when we visited the outback hot tub at Coward Springs. If you haven't seen part 1, make sure you check it out. Now, strap in for part 2 of our Oodnadatta adventure.
Well, it's day 3 of our Oodnadatta adventure. This little road trip is definitely right up our alley. We love a good desert adventure, those long red dirt roads, remote outback campsites, and those epic sunsets that you see out here. It's honestly just incredible. So this morning we've woken up at Coward Springs campsite, which is a really, really lovely spot to stop along the track. And we even managed to score the famous outback hot tub all to ourselves last night. So that was really awesome. We are really keen to get on the road quite quickly this morning, I think. We are hoping to finish the track today. So like I said, we're starting at Coward Springs and we're going to make our way to the town of Marree. We have been eyeing off a campsite down in the Flinders Ranges, which I really hope we can get to tonight before the sun sets, but we'll just see how we go. But that is the plan for today. I remember last time we did this track, there was quite a few really cool, unique spots in this last little strip. So we're really looking forward to that, particularly Lake Eyre, which is one of our stops today. Definitely a bucket list item for Maddie and I. So yeah, we are going to start the pack up and hit the road. What are you doing now?
I'm going to switch this because, so we didn't put a long range tank on the D-Max when we built it. And when we do like longer, more remote trips, we usually put a jerry can of diesel in, but then that means we have to put the water in the back. So we've used like at least 30 litres of diesel now. So this is actually pretty cool. This is the MRT lockable jerry can holder with gas struts. So when we went down to Perth for the show, they put this on for us. Best thing ever. So I'm going to chuck this diesel in, and then our jerry can have its home back. Our water jerry.
I much prefer having the water on the back than the diesel. It's so handy when I cook.
I have to say we miss it so much when we don't have the access to that water there, because yeah, we don't have like a water pump or anything. So much easier.
There are actually fuel stops along the Oodnadatta, but they're just really, really expensive. So we ended up filling that jerry up in Coober Pedy.
Yeah.
To save a little bit of money, and that's why we're just topping it up now.
It's only like 400 k's from the Pink Roadhouse at Oodnadatta to Marree, and then you've got fuel in at least William Creek, which is not too far from Coward Springs. Anyway, yeah, it's not, you're not going to run out of fuel with a standard tank, but $3 a litre out here.
first stop was at the Bubbler, a mound spring that's a natural attraction you can visit, and it's only about 4 k's off the Oodnadatta Track. These are actually natural artesian springs and are created from water deep within the Great Artesian Basin, which filters to the surface, forming mounds and bubbling ponds. After a quick stop, we jump straight back on the track. Next up, Lake Eyre, a spot that deserves a place on everyone's bucket list, and it did not disappoint. Stretching an incredible 144 kilometres by 77 kilometres, this is Australia's largest inland salt lake, and it truly is a natural wonder. Fun fact, Lake Eyre has only ever filled completely with water 4 times over the last 100 years. Sitting at the edge of this seemingly endless expanse of shimmering salt crystals was definitely not a moment we'll forget anytime soon. This next spot was definitely not what we expected to find in the middle of the outback. After only seeing sand, rocks and desolate road for the longest time, we suddenly came across these unique industrial-looking sculptures. In 1997, a former mechanic, now turned artist, started creating these sculptures, and they really bring the place to life. This is the brilliantly unusual Metonia Sculpture Park. Well, we've made it to the end of the Oodnadatta Track. We're in Marree right now. It's been quite the adventure.
What an epic couple of days.
Such a good road trip. It's definitely worth doing. Yeah, it's good for beginners. It's good no matter what sort of four-wheel drive you've got. You don't need to. You don't need anything crazy. to be able to come and do the track. It's typically in really good condition, the road. So
yeah,
it's a lot of fun.
the road from Cowd Springs to Marree was slightly more corrugated, but still, I would still say a dream track compared to some of the other ones we've done here.
Exactly, yeah, not by much. It's still pretty good.
Some really cool stops on this last leg as well. Lake Air was absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty spectacular seeing it like that. Just complete flat salt pan sort of. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, I'd love to see it with some water in it one day, but it's still pretty amazing, just the vastness of the salt plain.
Do you have to go north to get water typically? I don't know.
Do you?
I'm not sure. Anyway.
I don't know, Google.
We'll get up there one day. How good are these flies, by the way?
They're settling on you.
All right, stick around as we are doing the Flinders Ranges next, which is going to be really cool. So we're definitely looking forward to that.
After leaving Marree, we headed straight towards the Flinders Ranges. About an hour north of the Flinders Ranges National Park, you'll find Chilla Gorge. Camping spots along Chilla Gorge spread for hundreds of metres, and we managed to score an incredible spot just as the sun was setting. Straight away we saw emus, mountain goats and kangaroos all hanging around the campsite. This spot is probably one of our favourite camps that we found on the entire trip.
So we've just pulled up a camp, and this is definitely a very cool campsite. We didn't end up driving in too far into the gorge at all. We were really happy with one of the first spots that we found actually. And so we've just set up camp here. We have been watching emus and mountain goats just wandering by. The sunset has been incredible and the cliffs are just glowing red. Very happy with this spot. We have it all to ourselves as well. So that is the end of our Oodnadatta trip. I think we are just going to start a fire now. It's definitely cooling down and yeah, get some dinner on.
Once the campfire died down, it was time to climb up into bed for a bit of a movie night. This campsite was definitely the perfect way to end our Oodnadatta adventure. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. We'd really appreciate it. And we'll see you in our next episode of our Borderland Big Lap series.